Like, it's the kind of game I wouldn't play normally, but if you add, like, a nice art direction to it, that would make me intrigued. I would be interested. Sorry, excuse me, oh my god. I did get Link's Awakening today. So that's kind of what I want to play next after Kirby. Half Delighted, thank you for the blast. I think this is the first time I've ever sneezed on stream. This is a streamer first. Sometimes I sneeze very loudly and I can't help it. Like, I sneeze like with a high-pitched voice, and I don't know, it just feels like when I do it, it just feels like I let out an energy that's been like kept up inside of me. Matthias will be in the next VTuber Sneeze compilation. Well, I was gonna... my model just looked very happy about that. I was trying to wait for it to calm down. It was way too sensitive. No, I'm still happy about it. Oh, I think I might have rigged my mod. I think I might have rigged it wrong. Did I? Yeah, I'm always happy no matter what. Okay, I did not notice that. That's why... That's why it looked a bit strange. I was not happy about being in the Sneeze compilation. I was waiting for this phase to happen. Hold on, Haniwa? Haniwa spotted? Get your hat off? Nope, never mind. Can I steal your hat? You shouldn't be embarrassed, man. You should be proud to be a Haniwa. I'm doing you a favor. Maybe he's actually upset about being bald, now that I think about it. It might not be that he's a Haniwa. Okay, well, you know, deal with it. Is this Haniwa abuse? I don't know. I feel like Haniwas should be bald. Actually, it would be so cute to have, like, one Haniwa who has, like, an afro, wouldn't it? Or, like, a Haniwa who has, like, pigtails. Oh, man. There's a lot of... Actually, there's a lot of cute things you could do with a Haniwa in terms of hairstyles, isn't there? Like a bob cut. I was reading, like, a post recently on Blue Sky, which I found very interesting. It was someone talking about the word indie, and how different it is from the word that's used in Japan, which is doujin. And doujin in the West is more associated with like fan work manga. So we use it differently in the West. But in Japan, doujin is used for like mostly fan works. It's also used for it has a very specific meaning which I hadn't really considered before, which is like doujin means like-minded person. And they were talking in the thread about like how being an indie artist is very different from being like a doujin artist, as in someone being like a like-minded artist, someone looking for like-minded people. And I thought that was kind of cool as a concept. Like, don't you want to be a doujin artist in that sense, looking for like-minded people? An indie artist can almost seem like independent, like you're always on your own. I had long, so I don't know if people know this, I had long hair in my teens also. Like down to my shoulders for a very long time. But I never really cared about like, oh, this is girly, this is manly, or whatever, when I had long hair. It's just like, oh, I like having long hair. I would say now I definitely would keep it short. Like, my avatar has long hair. But I feel like that's just purely aesthetic. Like, I wouldn't want to have that in real life anymore. Too much work. His hair is different from his avatar, get him? I mean, I was a bit worried about that. When I started having this avatar, I was shaving my head, so I was completely bald. So I was bald and bearded. Now I have very short hair. And I was like, is anyone gonna call me out for being bald and bearded and having an avatar with long hair? What the fuck? How dare you? But then I could just reason it like, nah, it's a wig. Even now, I feel like canonically this hair is just a wig. Like, I feel like even now, that's a thing. You look like a Walter White. No, I look like a generic, bald, bearded white guy, I guess. Except now I'm growing it out. Like, would you be upset if your VTuber waifu had long hair, but then you find out in real life she has short hair? What the fuck? How could she? Style his hair like Mario. I mean, did I? Maybe I need to look in the mirror now to be like, no, 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 it's not true, it's not true. Do you have an avatar with a shaved? I used to have that. I had an alternate, but I didn't really like how it looked that much. There's also a short hair avatar. Yeah, originally I did have short hair. And I was kind of thinking of long hair in the beginning as well, but I was kind of like, I don't know, wanted to experiment as a whole. Will there be a pigtails avatar too? No, I don't think so. I think that's me, man. I actually, one of them, went through a lot of different iterations, I guess, for hairstyles, and one of them was a samurai knot avatar. And I was kind of thinking, like, what if I am, like, the Chonmage guy, the guy with a samurai knot, with a bald head, and that knot in the back. But I feel like part of why I didn't pick that was, like, I kind of like having, like, the availability to pick, like, a character who looks like your guy in video games. It's very rare that you get, like, a guy, or, like, the samurai hair knot in a game. You're not gonna have that in Pokemon. Also, here's another problem with why I kind of stopped having bald. Like, I was really considering that for a while. Like, should I be a bald VTuber? But that was part of it. Like, you can't even be a bald guy in some video games. You're not even allowed. They hate bald people. And I feel like a part of that is just, like, a lot of 3D modelers don't really design with in mind that anyone will play as a bald person. So even when they add it, you are a bald VTuber technically. That is true. A lot of 3D modelers don't think that people will play as a bald person, so they just don't make it look good. So over time, actually, like, I ended up playing, like, a lot of bald characters in video games. Ray, can you tell me what to do in this part of a game? I'm dying. Like, in a lot of video games, when you play as a bald guy, it just looks ugly, because they don't design with that in mind, of, like, how to look good bald. And I got so tired of it that I just started having hair. I stopped being bald in video games. Hair supremacy? I don't think we can say that, can we? No, no, no. Bald people. We love bald people here. Gamers love bald protagonist, man. We had like 20 years of that. This is part of like why I... Ah, damn it. I finally did it, holy shit. And I did not cheat. I can say that. Proper bald has alopecia. Okay, I was thinking Northern Lion. Immediately when someone said bald streamer, I was like, Northern Lion, I know. But part of why I started shaving my head was like receding hairline, right? Going bald, aging. But then over time, I started looking at one subreddit, bald. And I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I think a lot of these balding guys would actually look completely fine balding if they just took care of their hair. Like, the difference that I looked at was like, it's some guys just don't take care of their hair, so being bald is an improvement because that's a form of like taking care of your hair compared to like not taking care of it and being balding. So that made me curious, like, okay, what if I started growing out my hair again, but I took care of it, and I started like trimming and like, I don't know, what's the term? I guess trimming. It's just trimming. What if I started trimming and taking care of it? So I've been growing it out, and I'm kind of digging it, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay, maybe this could suit me, actually. But I am doing this with that in mind of, like, you know what, eventually I probably will go back to being bald. And I do sometimes miss it. Sometimes I'm like, ah, should I just shave it all off again? It was very nice to be bald sometimes, but during winter, I can wait for winter. Maybe when it gets hotter again. Chroma Cola light cans. Hold on, maybe I need to look this up. It sounds interesting. Maybe this will be extremely boring and useless to look at on stream. Chrome, that I'm intrigued enough by cola. What do you mean Chroma Cola light cans? Is it just these, the long ones? That's the Chroma? You know what? I kind of like that design though. The long ones. I don't mind it. It will be. Wait, I wasted your time. Just Chrome. It's like cola, zero cola, light cola, no caffeine, and then versus a multiple. What makes it light? Just the fact that it's like low in sugar, right? This is what I mean by what. But it's light because it's light in sugar, and there's no sugar, right? That makes sense. Now I've stopped stream for this. Is there literally anything else I can look up to not waste my time? Mario Cola? That's a musical artist's name? Mario Cola? How is there a guy named Mario Cola? I can't look at the Instagram. Mario Cola? That's not a real person. Super Mario Cola? Mario flavored cola gummy? Browse? Orangengeschmack? Orangengeschmack? Can I look at this? That's a Haniwa. Hello. I didn't mean to have you here, but now you're here. Dancing Haniwa just popped up for no reason. In between, I guess I think light is just zero or sugar-free, but with a different kind of artificial sweetener, right? That's it. Orangenschmack. Orange flavor, is that what it means? Is this real? What is Brause? I kind of dig... Hold on. Can we look a bit closer at this mushroom bow? There's something about this face that I really resonate with. He's kind of like in pain, but I think he might be like enjoying it. I know, maybe he's like confused about what's happening, but he's just like going with the flow. Not sponsored. Not yet. Not yet. I would sell out so easily. I've talked about this before, but if Sony ever came to me and were like, hey, Matthias, heard you're a Nintendo guy. What would it take for you to become a Sony PlayStation guy? It would be so damn easy. It would be so easy for me to shill. Hello, P. Mario. Welcome. Everyone say hello to P. Mario. I want everyone to do that. P. Mario is a consistent Kirby observer. Hi, P. Mario. Good to see it. What was I talking about? I completely forgot about what I was talking about because P. Mario showed up. It would be so easy for me to sell out. I just want to make that as clear as possible. I will sell out. I don't know, this is me being very specific about things. I want to get that guy, but I can't get him. I think I probably messed something up. I probably should have been here before all that happened. Sell out my main channel? Nah, I'm good. Ads? No thanks. Sell out for the sake of video games. I'm so ready. And Sony could be like, Matthias, here's the bare minimum. And I would be like, guys, I love PlayStation, and we all love PlayStation. Crash Bandicoot? What is the PlayStation mascot right now? Do they even have one? They don't really have like a consistent one, do they? But Astrobot, I guess Astrobot is the current one. Also, I did talk about this on stream. But my favorite sushi place became really weird, where like you order from the table, from like an app. And I was fine with that. And I talked about this, like, when I went there to order from the app, I picked, like, I want 6 pieces, but I could not decide on 3 pieces. I was only allowed to, like, decide on half the sushi. And I was like, no, that can't be right. So I ended up going back there, not too long ago. Was it? This was yesterday. It was yesterday that I did this. I just remembered. And I finally asked the guy, like, hey, is this right? I can't order like half the pieces. And he was just like, yeah, no, that's right, we decide for you. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I was not wrong. My assumption as I was talking about it on stream was like, I must have misunderstood the place, like, but no, he was just like, no, we decide for you, like, what the 3 of the pieces are gonna be. Alright, that's so strange. It is strange. But I don't know, do I respect it? Kinda. I can kind of vibe with a chef having very specific, I don't know, inquiries to how their customers should be, like, eating. And I was not wrong in the end, after all. Definitely just a way of stopping sushi from sitting out. Maybe. But you know what? It wasn't bad sushi, after all. So I was like, okay, maybe it's fine. We need a Mold Mario in chat. We do, maybe. I think that might be the first time anyone's used the Mold Mario emote. Congratulations. First ever Mold Mario. It didn't really take me long to set up, but it did, for some reason, Mold Mario, the emotes, took like weeks to get approved by CTV. They were like, very, I don't know, were they like worried about Mold Mario? Every other emote, it's like, oh yeah, approved after like an hour. Mold Mario, 2 weeks. Will you encourage your children to be Twitch streamer, TikTok stars? Probably not. I will just encourage them to be gamers. I want my kids to be like Mario pilled and Nintendo pilled. And I know that comes with them eventually growing out of it and being like, I'm too mature for Nintendo. Yeah, I know, kid. I know. It happened to me too. Fuck. But then they'll come back. And I'll be ready for them then as well. You know what? I kept it all. I told you I threw away all of your toys and games, but here they are. Here you go, you're 33 years old. God damn it. I have to sneeze. No, I have to sneeze. That one was even cuter. That one will make it to a compilation. I mean, that is how I normally sneeze. That's my high-pitched sneeze. I can't stop it. When it's about to happen, I can't stop that one. I kind of want to go to a furry convention. You're allowed to go to one without being dressed up, right? I'm just curious what it would be like. I know there is one in Sweden, in like the southern part. The very big one. Like people come from all over Europe. Nope, they all pounce on you and eat you. I can't say that would be understandable. I don't think that would be understandable. I think that would be going too far. Oh my... Wait, he's back? Holy shit. I thought you were dead. You died. I watched him die. How is he back from the dead? He looks really upset. Maybe if I don't look at him, I know, no, he noticed me. Wait, is this the same guy? Is it not? Gorimondo? No, that's his name. He got better? Okay, he got better. So be it. Oh, it's very effective to shoot a monkey, it turns out. Yeah. Monkey bye-bye. I really feel bad for that one guy who made a compilation of all the times I've said monkey. I really hope he's still not working on that since I started streaming. What do you look for in video games? Was this brought on by something I said? Or is this just a random thing? What do I look for in video games is a good question. Because it would be very easy to say, like, fun, of course, obviously. But is that all that I look for? I mean, I guess. But it's also too simple of an answer, right? Ask because you only ever play Nintendo games. I mean, too bad, I would say fun. No, I don't want to do this guy again. This guy's not fun. I think there is a particular draw for me with Nintendo games. Which is, like, part of it is, of course, fun. I think Nintendo have really polished the aspects of what makes video games fun. So that is a big draw for me. But there also is, like, an artistic, like, thing to Nintendo games that I will say, like, very often I look for something, like, stylish in video games and artistic, and I do look for nice art. Because I feel like that is important to me in a way. I feel like maybe a lot of people would see that as, like, a bad thing. Because it's like, you should care about the gameplay. But I do want to look at something that I find appealing to look at. And quite often there's like a polish. I guess I would say polish is like a, I don't know, very weird thing to talk about. But there's a kind of polish that I look for in video games that I just don't find sometimes. For me, novelty is very important. Yeah, I think novelty is something that I look for, but maybe it's not something that I consistently look for, right? Like, sometimes I do fine without novelty. It's just like, I want thing that I like again. It is an interesting question, but I don't know if I have a good answer for it. I don't know if I thought that out fully. Like, I feel like I don't really feel as if a lot of indie games appeal to me, which sounds awful, because I do want to, like, support indie creators and indie game devs. But I feel like a lot of indie games just lack polish. Like, one of the games I've enjoyed a lot was Valheim. And part of that was just like there was a polish to moving around, jumping around. And I feel like it's can I say this? I can tell if a game is bad or good within like playing it within the first like 2 minutes. Does this sound bad to say that? Because I think it's really important that just like moving around feels good and nice. And I can immediately tell, I feel like, if I'm going to enjoy a game and when I'm not going to. Because some people just don't care for that. But I need that kind of polish. Like, I want to move around, and I want it to feel nice. And if I don't feel that, it's like, do you even care about the game that you made? I have game dev criticisms, but I feel like I'm not experienced enough to criticize game devs. And one of them is something I hear, I guess I can say this in relation to like other people I know who develop games, and just what I've heard from them. But a lot of game devs may figure out one thing that they can do, and then they're like, cool, now I can make a game, and it's all going to be about this one thing I figured out, and that's the whole game. And then they don't move past on from that. And I feel like you can tell that a lot from a lot of, like, games, and that's what I'm looking to avoid in a weird way. Your limity is non-artists can criticize all, you can criticize. Yeah, that's true. I do... Of course anyone can criticize it, but I also feel like I want to be careful about it in a weird way. Maybe not weird. I want to make sure that when I criticize something, I'm not just doing it willy-nilly, and I'm doing like... No, I don't like it just because I don't like it. Like, I want to feel like I have a real thought-out reason for why. That doesn't have to be the case. You don't always have to do it. It's perfectly acceptable. Damn it, I wanted that. It's perfectly acceptable to be like, I don't like it because I don't like it. But I do generally want to think about stuff like that because I feel like it's worth thinking about. It's kind of worth it because you learn something from it by thinking it out, I feel like. Like, of course I could go, I don't like it because I don't like it, and I like games because they're fun. But would I actually understand anything about games by drawing those conclusions and not thinking it through? I kind of agree, a lot of my favorite games are ones where it's fun to just fuck around. Mario 64 is probably the prime example of that. It's so... Yeah, it definitely is. And I feel like that's like... I keep coming back to Valheim as like a really well-developed indie game. Because you can just jump around and do stuff in Valheim, and it never feels like it's an inconvenience. Like, moving around is like such an important element, and I don't get like why people like skip out on that when developing games. Like, I feel like most gamers will drop a game within the first minute, and if the thing is, like, if it doesn't feel good to play, then why would it ever improve? It's super important. Here, I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think there's ever a chance of, like, them doing a sequel to Mario 64? Or is that too much? Is that, like, I don't know, fan theory kind of thing? Something anyone very easily can imagine? Like, they're gonna do it. I would kind of like to see, like, a genuine, like, attempt at a sequel to Mario 64. I think it would be really interesting. I mean, I don't think that's, like, a unique point of view. But wouldn't it be fun to see, like, a sequel to Mario 64 in today's age? And using the same controls to, like, do, like, new stuff? Mario 64, but Mario as a gun? I mean, that would also work. I would be okay with that, even. They already did Mario with a gun. That's Sunshine. That counts, right? I don't know if we'll see it in the era of Odyssey and open world Nintendo games, but I agree it would be great. Yeah. I would even want them to go back to, like, the original N64 graphics. And be like, we're doing this again. Like, we're doing the sequel that never happened in the style of the old game. That would be cool. I don't get, why don't big companies do that? Like, a lot of companies go back and do pixel games now. But you could do that now. Like, you could, like, do polygon, low poly games right now. You could go back. Mario 64 needs a Majora's Mask. That's a really interesting way of looking at it, actually. A Majora's Mask and 64 Mario? Yeah, I would be into that. I would dig it. That's a really interesting idea. Mario 64 equivalent to Majora's Mask. I would say it doesn't even have to be, like, dark and twisted or anything like that. But you could totally do it in the sense of, like, introducing a new villain. Just a completely new guy. It doesn't have to be some established character. Hell yeah, yeah. Because no one... Actually, I mean, that was something interesting about, like, Skull Kid in Majora's Mask. He was a character in Ocarina of Time already. There aren't many characters like that in Mario 64. Actually, there's King Boo. But he doesn't look interesting. He's just a big Boo in Mario 64. Oh my god, a mask? Holy shit, Majora's Mask.